WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Many Oktibbeha County residents wondering what will happen to OCH Regional Medical Center.
Yeah, days after announcing potential buyers, tonight a forum on the upcoming referendum is being held to fill everyone in. Now, here is a live look of the meeting being held at the Greensboro Center tonight. Greater Starkville Development Partnership CEO Scott Maynard says the goal of tonight's meeting is to help everyone understand every part of the supervisor's RFP and the hospital's position on the sale. Community members are encouraged to ask questions to clear up any confusion. Voters will decide on the November ballot on whether to sell the hospital. We will have more on this story coming up tonight on WCBI News at 9 and 10.
And as you can see there from that shot, we're hearing it standing room only there tonight.
Large crowd.
Yes, indeed. Well, in Tupelo, it once looked like commercial air service might go away at the airport. Dismal customer service from two carriers crushed consumer confidence.
Now, airport officials say things have improved once Tennessee-based Contour Airlines was awarded the contract. WCBI's Allie Martin tells us how that contract is nearing its end and what steps are next for air service in Tupelo.
Every 2 years, members of the Tupelo Regional Airport Board reevaluate airlines who want to fly out of Tupelo because the U.S. Department of Transportation subsidizes air service in Tupelo through the Essential Air Service Program. While 6 airlines submitted proposals recently, 2 are still in the running: Contour Airlines, the current carrier, and Boutique Air. Cliff Nash is manager of the Tupelo Regional Airport, and while he doesn't know which airline the board will choose, he does point out that Contour's record and reliability have been positive for air travel out of the All-America city.
Contour has done a yeoman's job, an outstanding job. They, regaining the public's trust. They came in here and their flight completions, their on-time rates have been above, equal or above the industry standards. They've had good fares, and we've created a tremendous market between here and Nashville.
Airport board members have invited Contour and Boutique to make presentations. The DOT's annual subsidy for Tupelo air service comes in at around $4 million. Representatives from Boutique Air will make their presentation Friday to the airport board. Contour Airlines hasn't set a date, but its CEO has said in the past they're looking forward to making their case for continued air service to Nashville. In Tupelo, I'm Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Airport members will choose one of the airlines, and then that recommendation must be approved by Contour's contract runs through March of next year. Oktibbeha County deputies are still trying to figure out how many items a former teacher allegedly bought with someone else's money. 45-year-old Jennifer Baggett is charged with 6 counts of fraudulently obtaining goods by false identification. Investigator Brett Watson says multiple credit and debit cards are involved in this case. Citing an ongoing investigation, Watson could not say how many times Baggett is accused of buying or obtaining. A Starkville-Oktibbeha Consolidated School District spokesperson says that Baggett is no longer employed with the district. Baggett remains in the Oktibbeha County Jail on a $60,000 bond.
Webster County deputies arrest a duo on burglary and drug charges. Deputies and Mathiston police searched a home on Highway 403 in Mathiston for Kendall Harden and Stuart Bland. Officers were looking for stolen items from a burglary that happened the day before in the Clarkson community. Inside, they found stolen property and drug paraphernalia. Harden is charged with burglary of a dwelling, and Bland is charged with possession. Both are being held in the Webster County Jail. Chickasaw County leaders have selected a new ambulance service provider. CareMed will replace MedStat on November 1st. CEO David Grayson tells WCBI 2 ambulances will be stationed in the county, 1 at Okolona and 1 in Houston. A combination of 6 paramedics and 6 EMTs will be employed. Grayson says the contract is similar to what is currently in place. Chickasaw County will pay CareMed $95,000 a year. The company currently serves Benton, Marshall, and Lafayette counties. For more information on how to apply for those jobs, you can go to our website, WCBI.com. Well, the real estate market is growing right now, and so are ways to sell a home.
There are more ways for people who want to get their property to potential buyers than ever before. Our Jory Talley joins us in the studio with more.
We go online to find and research almost anything we want to buy online. Whether it's social media or specific real estate websites, it's easy to find listings. Realtors and for sale by owners both benefit from this.
Realtors have more advertising avenues now than ever. Teresa Brooks has been in the business for almost 30 years and says online growth has helped the housing market.
When I started in this business, we had to fill out forms and send them off to another state and get books printed, and then when the books came back to us, they were already out of date. So the computer system is much better.
It's better for realtors and more convenient for people who choose to sell their homes themselves.
You know, it used to be that they would put a sign up in the yard, and you know, that was just about all they had, you know, to do, other than maybe advertising it in the newspaper or whatever. But there are websites now that are especially geared toward for sale by owners, and a lot of people use those.
Brooks says although for sale by owners use social media and websites to post listings, it's not greatly affecting sales in Starkville.
I would think that the percentage of for sale by owners in Starkville is relatively small as far as the number of people who sell their own house. There are a lot of people that just don't have the time, and they don't have the expertise to do it, and that they don't want to do it on their own.
However, Buddy Staggers is part of the for sale by owner group.
I mostly advertise just a word of mouth and putting a sign out front, and I occasionally have used Zillow to for sale by owner.
He's a retired banker who buys homes, fixes them up, and resells them. He says online is a great tool for sell by owners to use, but doesn't think it overshadows the experts.
Realtors have such a good way of showing properties, the MLS, and exposing it to a broad market that it's hard for an owner to get to those markets. Being in banking, I knew a lot of people, and so I've had that advantage.
Brooks says one common mistake made by for sale by owners is underpricing their property.
All right, good information.
All right, we turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. He joins us with a first look at your forecast. Keith?
Some pretty nice weather out there right now. A live look in Columbus is setting sun with our Alpha Insurance camera, and you can see our temperature in Columbus, 77 degrees. So warm in the Golden Triangle area, not so warm in Tupelo at 65, 60 in Iuka. Much cooler all day up north, much warmer all afternoon long across our southern counties. Now, this evening, we've got some 70s. Now, really temperatures all over the place. Let's just go with some 60s and 50s this evening. Lows tonight under mainly clear conditions into the 50s to low 50s, mid to low 50s tonight. Jacket weather returns. Full forecast in just a few minutes.
A Starkville mother is using tragedy to try to save lives. She knows the pain of losing a child and the dangerous ripple effects of bullying.
This is Anti-Bullying Month, and this mom is sharing her message with anyone that will listen. WCBI's Selena Schaefer has more on this mom's mission. She joins us in the studio.
LaWanda Carpenter lost her daughter, Mariah that is, to suicide back in April. She was 12 years old. Since then, her mother has made a point to tell her daughter's story.
Bullying really has broke our hearts.
When LaWanda Carpenter wakes up every morning, she's reminded of her family's loss. 12-year-old Mariah died April 29th, but that's when her new life story really began.
Since the incident happened, I have been traveling, going to different churches, going to different events, just telling Mariah's story.
She's calling it Mariah's Voice.
When I tell her story, I tell from the time I got home up until the time I found her hanging on that tree.
Carpenter says it's not easy to hear, but feels it's a story that needs to be heard.
Sometimes you have to be straightforward and let them know exactly what's happening and how it affects not just only me, but the whole community of Starkville. I mean, it's not just me that's just hurt, it's everyone.
Carpenter says by talking about her pain, it shows school kids the reality and repercussions of bullying. There's also a message to parents.
If they do have these cell phones and if they are on social media, you need to be on their page looking at what they're doing.
She says talking about her daughter's death is not easy, but raising awareness is something that has to be done.
It hurts every time I have to get up and speak in front of someone to tell her story, but that's something that I have to do because I want her voice to never go dead. She's not here with me physically, but her voice is in me.
Carpenter also has a small group for young girls to talk. For more information on that group, you can head on over to our website at WCBI.com.
Coming up after the break, Parker King joins us live from EMCC, where students are showcasing their skills to industry leaders.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back. East Mississippi Community College students get the opportunity to network with multiple industrial businesses. WCBI's Parker King is live on campus with the latest.
Annual Industry Day. Students in electrical and automotive technologies put together projects to show industry representatives their skills. Instructors are excited to see how this affects students' marketability when it comes time for graduation.
Our goal is to teach our students to network. We get a lot of young folks who don't know how to network, don't know how to approach someone who could be a possible boss someday. And so we hope to have our students have some experience networking and hopefully make some connections that'll end up as jobs.
All of the projects were completed solely by students. Instructors say this may be the highest number of graduating students in the department's history. Live on EMCC Golden Triangle campus, Parker King, WCBI News.
Inside one class at Earl Nash Elementary, there's a different story being read every week, but the same educator is giving her students love and encouragement. Lori Edwards teaches first grade, and she's the Educator of the Week. We dropped in to surprise Miss Edwards with the award. She says with so many things vying for her students' attention, it can be difficult getting her students excited about learning. Luckily, her enthusiasm is the kind that's contagious.
You know, trying to keep them focused on the lesson and keep them excited about it. And I think what makes you able to do that is to be excited yourself. You know, you have to be excited about learning and about teaching for the students to catch on to your excitement.
If you would like to nominate a teacher, just visit our website, WCBI.com.
Weather-wise, right now in Tupelo, all quiet. A little bit of cloudiness northeast of Tupelo, really keeping temperatures cooler for you, but we will have a nice sunny stretch. Warmer by the weekend, cooler for all of us next week. Full forecast is next.
WCBI's Educator of the Week is brought to you by Food Giant, where your neighbors are the owners. Your First Alert Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Let's talk about our Thursday. We're looking pretty good. A cool start. Jackets needed early, and then we're back into the sunshine. Some friendly clouds, 76 by noon, low 80s. The forecast highs in the afternoon. Now, tomorrow in Vernon, Alabama, at Durham's Pharmacy, 1:30 to 5:30, Jacob Dickey will be out with our severe weather awareness event. Swing on by the store, get a weather radio, get the program, just talk weather. Today, I was at West Clay Elementary School talking to the 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. You can see it right there. We were talking about the world of weather here in Mississippi, the hurricanes that we've had across the Atlantic Basin, the Gulf of Mexico so far this season. It's been a very busy summer, and even some tornadoes around here as well. So we talked about all of that. Look at all the great kids, had a great time. And can't forget, they gave me this great t-shirt, but see how it bleeds through? One cool school, West Clay Elementary. This big map behind me is green, and anything that's green becomes the map or the graphic right there. So appreciate your hospitality today in Western Clay County. If you want us to come out to your school or your organization, go to our website, WCBI.com. Under the weather section, you'll see that form right there. Fill it out. We'll get an email. We'll be in contact. We'll schedule it. We'll have a good time, right? All right, temperatures right now into the low and mid 60s north, mid to upper 70s and low 80s south. So temperatures all over the place right now. Much cooler, though, relative to 24 hours ago in Tupelo. 18 degrees cooler, 19 degrees cooler in Memphis. Really, our entire viewing area is cooler than where we were yesterday, all because of that front right there, that big blue line with the little triangles. That's a cold front that moved on through. Now, high pressure will start to work its magic here. Those clouds are very stubborn today, but they're thinning out in all areas. Some spots still seeing some cloud cover, but they will thin out tonight. A lot of sunshine tomorrow, and really for the next couple of days here with high pressure in control. By the end of the weekend, that front right there will move through late Sunday or Monday, and that will give us a chance for a few showers. But the big story again next week will be some cooler temperatures. Tonight down into the 50s, 55 as an average, but look at this. Some of you may be down into the lower 50s. Corinth at 50, a shot at some upper 40s in some spots tonight. And for our day Thursday, upper 70s north to around 80 degrees in Tupelo, 81 in Columbus, maybe as warm as 82, 83 or 84 in Louisville and Macon tomorrow. So that's our Thursday. Friday, a little bit warmer, 84. Great for high school football in the evening. Warm weather this weekend, mid to upper 80s, and then cooler 70s return next week.
Houston Nutt looks to take Ole Miss back to the courtroom. The details on the latest move by the former head coach is coming up next.
CBI First Alert Weather School is brought to you by Emerson Animal Hospital in West Point. WCDI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Former Ole Miss head coach Houston Nutt is ready to take the football program and its athletics foundation back to the courtroom. Antonio Morales with the Clarion Ledger reports that Nutt is refiling his lawsuit against Ole Miss to the Lafayette County Circuit Court after it was dismissed by a U.S. District Judge back in August. The complaint, which was first filed back on July 12th, alleges a breach of contract, a breach of duty of good faith, and fair dealing, as well as punitive damages. The Biletnikoff Award for the nation's top wide receiver adds Ole Miss sophomore A.J. Brown to the watch list. Better late than never, Brown leads the SEC in receiving yards, yards per game, catches per game, and is fourth in the conference in touchdown receptions. The Starkville native has smashed his output of his freshman season back in 2016 through 5 games. That's all it took. And he's coming off a career-high 10 catches against Auburn. The Johnny Unitas watch list for the nation's top quarterback trims its watch list to only 20 quarterbacks, and Mississippi State's Nick Fitzgerald makes the cut. Fitzgerald joins Kentucky's Steven Johnson as the only SEC signal callers in the top 20 list. Fitzgerald leads all quarterbacks in the SEC in rushing yards and is tied for 5th in the conference in rushing TDs. The Alabama Crimson Tide return home to take on the Arkansas Razorbacks. The Tide are fresh off a road win over Texas A&M, the closest game the Tide have played arguably since week 1 against FSU. Arkansas and A&M went toe-for-toe 2 weeks ago, that game going to overtime, with the Aggies squeaking away with a 50-43 win.
They definitely look pretty good on film, and I know they're going to be a tough challenge, especially because how close they play Texas A&M. They play an odd front pretty much every play, and their defensive front definitely looks really good.
They show pretty much similar tactics as Texas A&M. They always want to, at least kind of spread you out in a way, and also they got athletes as well, so you could definitely see those similarities with those guys, and they're just like a team that wants to play 4 quarters just like Texas A&M, man. All we can do now is just, like I said, man, just continue to keep preparing and getting better.
Coming up at 10 on WCBI Sports, South Pontotoc off to its best start on the gridiron in 3 decades, and our Student Athletes of the Week continue to lead them. Senior quarterback Cole Brown and senior linebacker Troy Bone have the Cougars sitting at 7-1 in a very contested Region 4 3A, and they're hoping to put South Pontotoc on the map in Class 3A. That story brought to you by our very own Jonathan Flippo, coming up later tonight. And South Pontotoc gets to join the Helmet Club. Jonathan brought back a helmet from South Pontotoc.
I saw him carrying that through the newsroom
So
the
you'll
other
be
day.
seeing the newest addition to the table on Friday
You're going
nights.
to run
at
out of
the Enzo.
room in the sports office.
We're already running out of room, but I just said keep on coming. I'll wear them during every sportscast if I have to.
There you go. 3 decades, huh?
3 decades, 7-1. They've been one of the more pleasant surprises in high school football so far.
All right. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
All right, jackets tonight, but some warm weather tomorrow. Around 80.
Yeah, finally starting to feel like fall.
A little bit.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Have a great night.